In the wake of the deadly winter storm Uri, which has caused massive damage to the Texas power grid, leading to, of course, massive rolling blackouts and sub-zero temperatures, which, of course, it's a very dangerous situation here. A Texas mayor decided to rage against his citizens for asking him for help. So now, this is former mayor Tim Boyd. Here's what he posted in a Facebook post on Tuesday. So I don't know if you'll be able to really read that, but I'm going to show it to you anyway, and I'm going to read some of it. So, just ignore the person. Colorado, Texas, by the way, is the town. Here's what he said. Let me hurt some feelings while I have a minute. Oh, this is good. And keep that in mind, by the way, because he is going to come back later and complain about people hurting his feelings. No one owes you and your family anything, nor is it the local government's responsibility to support you during trying times like this. Sink or swim, it's your choice. The city and county, along with power providers or any other service, owes you nothing. I'm sick and tired of people looking for a damn handout. If you don't have electricity, you step up and come up with a game plan to keep your family warm and safe. If you have no water, you deal without and think outside the box to survive and supply water to your family. If you are sitting at home in the cold because you have no power and are sitting there waiting for someone to come rescue you because you're lazy, is direct result of your raising. Only the strong will survive and the weak will perish. Perish spelled wrong. Yeah, I know. Numerous spelling errors, but okay. Folks, God has given us the tools to support ourselves in times like this. This is sadly a product of socialist government, where they feed people to believe that the few will work and others will become dependent for handouts. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just stop right there. All right. This is the product of the socialist government of what? Texas? Texas? I'm sorry. This is in Texas. Also, up until January 20th, the government was run by the federal government. It's been run by Donald Trump, Republicans. Come on, dude. What's going on here? All right. Anyway, there's more to this screed than I want to read. Am I sorry that you have been dealing with electricity and water? Yes, but I'll be damned if I'm going to provide for anyone that is capable of doing it themselves. We have lost sight of those in need and those that take advantage of the system and mash them into one group. Bottom line, quit crying and looking for a handout. Get off your ass and take care of your family. Bottom line, don't a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. Okay, so this is literally a former mayor of Colorado, Texas. Holy crap. So, all right. The guy's insane. Oh, you want electricity and clean water? Get it for yourself. You realize that, like, consumers, because that's where we are, consumers pay to get water and electricity. And when service is interrupted, they expect that to be fixed and service to be restored in exchange for paying them to do the service. You pay them. I mean, come on. Now, look, I happen to believe that, heat, water, and power and shelter are human rights. I think that everybody should have this. I think in this world, in this time period, where, human beings are the wealthiest they've ever been, and all these wonderful technological advances, that there's no reason that anybody in this world shouldn't be without the basic things for survival. And that's what that is. Food is necessary for survival, in a lot of cases energy, in order to keep food warm, or I'm sorry, not warm, but keep food cold and then be able to warm and cook that food. All that stuff is kind of the baseline for human survival. All right. So yes, I believe that shelter and heat and water, they are human rights, and we should all have them. Okay. And so, again, we have access to so many different ways of creating energy. We have an abundance of energy, in fact. But as you can see, in Texas, well, there were certain impediments to that. Even though we were able to generate lots of different energy through lots of different ways, it means, this storm caused some problems, right? As they do. Now, that said, on energy, I also believe in the decommodification of energy. I don't know if I mentioned that, right? So, but this man who was an absolute psycho thinks, no, even if you've paid for it, first through your taxes and infrastructure, right? And then as a service to a private corporation, you are therefore not entitled to have electricity, even though you've done all that. Or you're also not entitled to have the government come in and fix that infrastructure and get that working again so that you're able to live and survive. Okay? Well, then why have government at all if they're not able to do these basic things? So, I mean, of course, that these Republicans, these conservatives don't believe in government. And their whole point is, we don't want government. We believe that only he said it before, the strong will survive and the weak will perish. And that's really it. And so now the guy's a sociopath, obviously, and he got raked over the coals. And again, he had resigned from his post as mayor, and then ended up deleting this off of Facebook. But even in doing so, he doubled down. Here's what he said in a second post. Mr. Boyd said he won't deny for any minute or 1 minute anything that he had said in the previous post, but then complained about mean comments. Mean comments. My wife received mean comments and harassment and actually lost her job. He also blamed people for taking him out of context, saying that, quote, I would never want to hurt the elderly or anyone that is in true need of help. I was just making the statement that those folks that are too lazy to get up and fend themselves should not be dealt a handout. Now, again, I believe that all these things are human rights, that we should all have this as a baseline to human survival. Okay, and there's no reason that we can't do this. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that seem to disagree with that position. Now, Mr. Boyd also said that he made the comments as a private citizen, not that it matters, because guess what? Yeah, you have free speech. You're able to say whatever you want, but you are not protected from the consequences. Turns out, yeah. Now, those consequences, of course, ended up, at least according to him, saying that his wife was fired from her job due to her defending his statement, and that his family was subject to undeserved harassment and even death threats. Well, look, literally, you just told people in their community that they deserve to die if they were, quote unquote, too lazy to do that. And look, one person, actually more than one person has died. But let me give you an example. And this didn't happen in this community, but it has been happening throughout Texas. One woman and her 8-year-old daughter in Houston, they did kind of what he said. They thought out of the box, and they tried heating their home with their car. Now, unfortunately, those two people died as a result of carbon monoxide poisoning. So, I mean, in the last few days, Houston actually had 300 cases of carbon monoxide poisoning that was reported in Harris County alone. So people are trying to heat their homes in any way possible, but they're doing so in dangerous ways. And so don't, shut all the doors and bring your car in and use that to heat your home. Don't heat your home or, sleep in the car. or anything like that. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. That is dangerous. That is deadly. Okay, so, but hey, you ask this guy, the weak shall perish, right? Guess that family should have been a little stronger, right? That's kind of what you're saying. And no, I don't think at all that I'm taking you out of context. I read exactly what you said. No, again, what we need is the kind of quote unquote socialist government response in order to help people get back on their feet and not die. Now, look, there's been a lot of great people in Texas that have, that have heat and they have things like that. And they have helped out their neighbor, and that's wonderful. And I love to see that, right? But here's the thing. Maybe we should have, I don't know, a coordinated response to be able to help people en masse. That's what governments are supposed to do. That's literally why we create governments. But Texas, the politicians in Texas, for example, such as this guy, well, they set themselves up for something like this to happen by setting up and operating their own power grid. Now, you might think, okay, look, what does that matter? This would be a good thing, right? I mean, Texas, we're being self-sufficient, so we can better deliver power locally, right? Using this privatized model that has competition and doesn't have to adhere to onerous federal government regulations. And that turned out to be not good for them. And as a result, at least 10 people have died as a result of the winter storms in the state. And so, and it's not over either. It's not over. Another winter storm is expected to hit the region today. So, it's a sad situation. It's a dangerous situation. And I just want to send my solidarity to the people of Texas who are affected by this. Please stay safe, stay warm, do the best that you can. And, you guys you'll pull through this. The rest of the country is with you, even if your politicians aren't. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.